Good morning! Welcome back to episode 4 of my Breakfast with Katie series. Today I am going to be making a brunch style dish. Now I call it brunch style because I am making a big batch of it in a Pyrex 9x13 pan, and it is basically a chili egg bake is kind of what I'm calling it. So it's absolutely delicious. It is so easy to make, and it is seriously a crowd pleaser. Every time I make this meal, people absolutely love it. And a bonus is that it saves really well in the fridge. So if you are like me and always have leftovers sitting around in the fridge and you want to reheat them for the next day, like this dish is absolutely perfect for that, because all the ingredients really just withstand. And actually, it's strange, but the next day sometimes it even tastes better because all the flavors have marinated into each other and have been sitting. So let's go ahead and get started with the ingredients that we're using today in this dish. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start with some organic jumbo brown eggs. You guys can use regular eggs too, just adjust to the size. So probably just one extra from whatever I use. I am just using the sharp cheddar just to get rid of it because it's only a little bit left in the bag. But normally I would just use the Mexican blend cheese. So if you guys have that, or even just jack or cheddar, whatever you guys really want of cheese, you can use. Some canola spray, some black pepper, 3 cans of the green chilies, and some sour cream. Okay guys, so the first order of business is going to be setting our oven to 350 degrees to preheat. While that's preheating, the first thing I'm going to do is spray my Pyrex dish. So just using the canola spray, and I'm just going to spray the inside of it. Now that that's sprayed, I am going to go ahead and take my cans of green chilies, and I'm going to be pouring all of the chilies in an even layer on the very bottom of the pan. So you want to make sure that like the chilies are spread throughout. They don't have to be perfect, but try to do as fine of a layer as you can. It's not going to be like a thick layer, but it's just enough to cover the bottom with the green chilies. Now that I laid the green chilies down on the bottom of my baking dish, I'm going to go ahead and layer the top of it with cheese. Now it calls for 3 cups of cheese. You guys can use as little or as much as you want, but I'm going to go ahead and just eyeball this, and I'm going to start with my sharp cheddar cheese just because these shreds are a little thicker. So I'm going to put that layer down, and then I'm going to use the Mexican blend to kind of fill in the spots that weren't covered. So as you guys can see, I did not hold back on the cheese in this dish because the cheese is like a barrier between the wet chilies and the wet egg. So the cheese really helps everything just kind of come together and stay together. Now I'm going to go ahead and whisk my eggs together in a bowl and then add the sour cream. So we're going to be using 4 of the jumbo Trader Joe eggs, but if you guys, like I said, if you have the regular size eggs, go ahead and add an extra one. Honestly, you can really modify this recipe to make more or less however you want. This recipe calls for 3 eggs. In my experience making this, 3 eggs never cut it. It does not cover the entire area that you would want it to cover. So I'm doing 4 jumbo eggs. Before I whisk my eggs, I'm going to add a little pepper. Now again, this is based on really your preference of pepper. My family likes pepper. It really flavors the dish well, so I use a good amount. And then I'm going to go ahead and whisk these eggs together. All right, now that the eggs are whisked, I'm going to go ahead and add the 1 cup of sour cream. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and whisk all of these ingredients together. Now you want it to be really creamy and well blended. Now that everything is nice and whisked together, it does take a little while because the sour cream is cold, so it just wants to stay clumped. So just really give it some love. show it a lot of whisking, and eventually it will get smooth, I promise you. It just takes a little bit of time. So the next step is going to be adding all of this egg mixture on top of here. So you have to be really careful because once you pour this, it seeps down to the bottom. Just try to go evenly across throughout the entire dish. If you have a little left over, go to the corners and finish it off. So, and it's okay if it doesn't cover perfectly. Once it's in the oven and everything starts to melt, it all evens out. And that is it, guys. That is how easy and simple this dish is to make. Now we're just gonna pop it in the oven for 30 to 40 minutes, and you just wanna make sure that the edges are starting to brown and maybe the center has a little browning going on too. So just keep an eye on it. After 30 minutes, check it, see if it's starting to get brown. If it is, pull it out. If not, leave it in for a little bit longer. All right, guys, so it has been about 35 minutes and it is looking perfect. This is probably one of the best times I've made it. It's turned out amazing. So let's go ahead and get it. Look at this, you guys. So good. So I'm gonna let this sit for about 5 minutes just so it can finish cooking and set up and cool down a little bit. So then I will go ahead and try it and let you guys know how delicious it is. As you guys can see, I cut them like brownies, so they're kind of cut into squares, and I already gave my son a little piece and he's eating it right now. All right, the moment of truth. This turned out amazing, you guys. The chili flavor is so dang good. If you guys haven't had green chilies, you're missing out. They're delicious. They're not spicy. They just give a really, I can't even describe the flavor. It's green chilies. It is amazing. These are so easy to eat. They're dangerous, but I love having these for brunch with like banana bread and some mimosas. So you guys really can't go wrong with this recipe. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, please, and subscribe to my channel if you guys have not already. I will see you guys in my next video.